Shabbat Shalom, peace and blessings. Not Shabbat Shalom, but Shalom. This is, of course, Rosh Chodesh. This is, of course, the new moon, and I'm excited. Very happy to be celebrating the new moon. It has always been my desire to synchronize our calendar and be able to live out the calendar that is within the Tanakh. And you know what? I'm very happy that we have this opportunity to actually celebrate a new moon on a time that we come together as a family. And so, hey, we're celebrating each other, we're celebrating the Most High, and we are celebrating the new moon. All praises to the Most High for this time, for this season that lines up with the Tanakh, it lines up with His Word, and we are honored to be able to have this moment, to have this time. So with that being the case, hey, we will be right back. We are going to talk about, yes, we're going to talk about the new moon celebration happening right now. Well, I'm your moray, I'm your teacher on this channel. I'm Melky Uriel, and you know what? I'm very happy to be here, very delighted and excited to be here, again, as I stated, because this is the new moon celebration. And while we know that within modern day Israel, tongue-in-cheek, talking about Israel at large, there's a controversy regarding which calendar do we use? Do we use the Enochian calendar? Which calendar do we use? How do we recognize what's going on? Well, I always like to think about it this way, that there's always a point of synchronization whenever you begin a new month. Now, please keep in mind, the new month is different than the actual Shabbat calendar, okay? And I know it's controversial because some incorporating certain aspects of the Enochian calendar will say, hey, you know, there's supposed to be a 30-day month and there's supposed to be X amount of days to the year. And, every Shabbat is supposed to be pretty much calculated and so forth and so on. And then we have to get into the whole issue with Qumran and how the priests in the Qumran community had an issue with the Greco-Roman influenced priesthood that was taking orders from Rome and using the lunar calendar. Those who use the lunar calendar will have a lunar Shabbat, meaning that they will start the first day of the month. And because the new moon actually orchestrates the beginning of the month, they will then calculate their Shabbats. They will calculate their Shabbats based upon the new month. And so there is a floating attribute, if you will, to the Shabbat, to where it's the seventh day from the beginning of the month. However, like I said, this is controversial. When you take a look, then you have to understand that the actual beginning of creation was not synchronized with the sun and the moon being created on the first day. They were actually out of sync with that. The Shabbat that we hold is not in synchronous with the beginning of the month, okay? The day of creation is separate from the beginning of the month. And I know many people are like, oh man, it's not that way. It can't be that way because see, here's why. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding this. However, this is what we do know. And I love to begin with what we do know. And either inductively or otherwise, look at things. Even, what I love to do is I love to look at things from an ontological perspective. But be it as it may, here's what we know. We know that when there is a new moon, then yes, it does begin the month. So we're going to go with what we know. We're going to stick with what we know, and we are celebrating the new moon. And I am so happy to be locked and in sync with the timing of the Most High. I want to tiptoe into for whatever reason, I know that we've got some people watching, and my system is running just a little bit slow when it comes to the chat roster. So my system is giving me a hard time. I can't really see who is. Yeah, we've got a number of different people here, and I cannot see any one of them. So hey, we're gonna go ahead anyway, and maybe my system will catch up. And I hope to be able to perhaps answer some questions, or even be able to see your comments at some point in time. I don't know why my system is running so slow, but let's do this and let's get into some scriptures. Let's talk about it, and we're going to do that in just a second. Bruchim Abayim Mishpachah. I want to ask you a question. Would you pick up a French dictionary in order to help you define Spanish? Would you pick up a book on physics to help you understand the simplicities of cooking a recipe? No, you would not. You need the right reference material for the particular job at hand. And the Most High has given us a job of living the life according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that He has given. Why do I bring up this dichotomy? Why do I bring up this question? Because that is what many of us are doing. We are using reference works that are Christian in origin, nature, and bias. And we're having to gain a a purely Hebraic understanding from them. And this, my dear brothers and sisters, is insane. I'm looking, need your help. I'm looking to foster Hebraic scholarship. So we've started the Hebrew Scholar magazine, and with this, there's something for the entire family, but there's also a platform to be able to develop new, young, and budding scholars. We want scholars that are going to basically produce materials from our perspective, with our truth, that's for us, that's by us, and that's going to benefit us and help us throughout all generations. I'm Melky Uriel. I want you to subscribe to the magazine. I need you to subscribe to the magazine. We want to reach our first goal of 500 subscribers, and then of course we want to go to 1,000 and move on from there. But bottom line of it is, we need this for the nation, for the community. We need this for Israel. We need our own scholars. And it's time that we began to invest in our own scholarship. So help us out. Go to thehebrewscholar.com. We'll see you there. Shalom. And of course, as you may have guessed, tonight is sponsored by, yes, it's sponsored by the Hebrew Scholar magazine. You can go to thehebrewscholar.com, as you've already seen, and yes, you can subscribe. You can even begin. You get 14 days free, and of course, your support does help us out greatly. So with that being the case, hey, and by the way, I do need some of you that would desire to. You need to contact me if you want to submit an article to be in the Hebrew Scholar. It will have to pass through some tests and jump through some hoops, but hey, please, by all means, you are able to submit, and we can go from there. But do contact me. I will put my email address in the chat, and we can go from there. And there's a couple things that I want to talk about real quickly before we get into a little bit of a lesson here. I want to, again, we said that this was the this is the new moon celebration on today. Yes, it is, and we're happy, we're delighted. And I just simply want to say that, I've been kind of working on something, and I want to show it to you if I'm able to, if I can. I'm going to see if I can pull it up so that I can show you. And if I can, it will be absolutely wonderful. And it looks like I will be able to. So let me show you this, talking about the new moon. I have created an app. This is one of the things that I did today, and so I'm working on integrating it into the website. I didn't quite finish. I wanted it to be a pleasant surprise. But yeah, this is our app at Remnant Nation Live. This is our app, and this will help you to be able to chart and understand basically the Hebrew calendar. This is for us to be able to know when our next Shabbat is, for those of you that don't know, when the new moon is, okay? Also, things about our community, it's gonna be posted here, and how many holy days are there this year, and so forth and so on. Today's observances, okay, what's upcoming, okay? High Holy Day of Yom Kippur is coming up. And so, long story short, we even have a daily scripture here for you. And the daily scripture that we're looking at right now is, He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knows it's going down. That comes from Psalms 104:19. And there is a daily scripture there. So this is our app. It is brand spanking new. And so this is our app, and you can expect more from it. Long story short, it's on our About page on Remnant Nation Live. But like I said, I've got to finish incorporating that into the site so that we can get to it very quickly. So here on the site, we do, again, it's remnantnation.live. Please check us out. Please connect with us. You can definitely do so there. This is, of course, a podcast, being sponsored by the Hebrew Scholar magazine. It's designed to bless the entire family, from the children all the way up to the adults and even those who are scholarly in the household. There's something literally for everyone. So do check that out. Do subscribe. And let's go ahead and let's talk about, give me a minute, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the new moon. We're going to talk about that and how we are celebrating that on today. Be right back. All right, so as we continue, listen, one of the things I want to say again, I'm happy, I'm delighted that we're able to celebrate the new moon celebration together. Let me tiptoe into the chat to say, there's the chat. It finally came up. Let me give some shout outs. Peace and blessings. By the way, I have no idea whether or not this is the correct chronology on the timelines here, but hey, looks like the first person in the room, according to my chat roster, is my sister Jacqueline E. Bugs. What's up, my sister? Peace and blessings to you. I'm glad that you are here, as well as Gilly is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Gilbert St. John. Christine Croning, peace and blessings to you. Please know that we are yet praying for you, and also praying for Jerry and praying for Donna. And so we do lift them up before the Most High continually. And as well, we are happy to be here. My brother from another mother is definitely here. Peace and blessings to you, Bergen Paris. And also, hey, Josh and Penny, peace and blessings to you. And Miss H is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Miss H. Our silent sniper there. Looking at, and unfortunately that's all I have for the roster thus far. She says, shalom y'all. Miss H said, shalom y'all, just stopping by to say happy new moon and happy 7th month. Yes, all praises to the Most High. Thank you, my sister. Yes. She says, I'll have to watch the replay later. Well, peace and blessings to you, my sister. I'm glad that you stopped by just to say hey. I love it. I love it when the family shows up. And let's just go from here, and let's just start talking about what we want to deal with on tonight. And we want to talk about the new moon celebration. I don't think that I've spoken about the new moon. I'm sorry, the new moon celebration. I don't think that I've spoken about that much. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Here we go. We're going in, and we're going to bring you into the scriptures. Okay, as we begin to talk about the new moon. Also, too, let me do this. Even before I hit this scripture, let me go here to Genesis 1. And you know it, we're going to talk about the luminaries for just a second. And let's take a look at this, because I've always thought that this was very, very powerful, my brothers and sisters. Notice what it reads, Bereshit 1:14. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament, Baharachia, Behashmaim. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Now here comes the operative clause that is very important. Let them be for signs, okay, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. So wait a minute, let's back up, let's talk about this. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the lights in the firmament, okay? And we're talking about them, the lights in the firmament, whereby they divide the day from the night, okay? So the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night, and it says, let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. So according to the luminaries and the heavens and the firmament, it is according to their pattern and their construct that we have a day, that we know what a day is, okay, that we know what a year is, and that we know what seasons are, okay, and that we also know what signs are. Now, out of these three, it's definitely important for us to understand we know what a year is, okay? We know what a year is. We know what a day is. We know what a season is. But do we know what a sign is? Okay? Let's talk about this for a moment. I want to introduce to many of you what you may not know to be a sign. It is the Hebrew word ot, okay? Oat, like oats, like, you know, like the Quaker oats. It sounds just like that, but it's oat. And this is the plural form here, but it's for signs. Well, okay, so now let's take a look at it and let's see exactly what this is defined as. And you know what? My cursor, boy, I tell you, let me back up just a little bit. And oh my goodness, yeah, we're having fun here. Let's look at that again. There we go. I'm gonna pull that back. So a sign, a pledge, a token. Okay, let's look at some examples of when and where this word is used. Okay, there we go. Oat. Let me not mess with that because my cursor just goes crazy. Okay. Otot, looking at ot, it's for a sign, it's for a pledge, it is for a token. One example of that is we find that to be in Bereshit chapter 4, verse number 15. And notice what it reads. And Yah said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yah set a mark. He set a mark, okay? What is that word for mark? Let's take a look at that here. So notice we have that he put a mark upon him. He put a sign upon him. Okay? Not a sign as in to say, hey, purchase 3 of these and you get 1 free. Not that kind of a sign. But Yah put a sign upon Cain. Okay? So please understand that signs have spiritual significance, but they also have significance when it comes to not just spiritual things, but also natural things. The kind of sign that we're talking about is we're talking about a sign of the Most High, how the Most High has chosen and the Most High has basically declared his will in the sign. This is what I want you to see. He's declared his will in the sign. So whenever you find a sign from the Most High, you can expect the will of the Most High to be expressed. I'll say that again. Wherever there is a sign from the Most High, you can expect the will of the Most High to accompany that sign. That's what signs are for. Out of all of these that we have read, where it is written what the moon is for and what the sun is for and what the lights and the luminaries are for, lights and luminaries and the Shemayim are for, we understand that they are for seasons. They're there for days. They are there for years. But you know what? They're also there for signs. Again, these are signs that declare the spiritual will, the markings, if you will. The look at it this way, as the Most High expressing his will and marking it at a specific interval in time. This is the importance of signs. This is the importance of a sign, and we have recurring signs that come to us every month and every day and every night and every year. And you know what? The Most High says that, you know what? These are signs that I need you to follow. These are signs that I need you to understand. And notice, if you will, when the Most High put a mark upon Cain, okay? When he put a mark upon him, it was, yeah, you may guess it, it was an oat. It was an oat. The plural of that is otot, but it is the same word for sign as is written in Bereshit, as we've already read in Bereshit chapter 1, okay? And verse number 14. It is that same kind of a sign. In other words, it is a sign with spiritual significance. It is a sign with spiritual significance. And for us, it locks us here. It's relating to us in this three-dimensional world that we live in this life that we live in. That sign is given unto us, and all praises to the Most High. We have signs in the luminaries. We have the heavens. We have the stars. We have them for signs and for seasons. Now, please keep in mind, notice what we read here as we take a look. It says, and Elohim said, let there be lights, okay? More than one light, okay? And these lights, these ma'or or ma'orot or ma'orim, these lights, if you will, that are in the heavenlies, these lights serve the purpose of signs. Now again, let me just state this. We do not worship the moon. We don't worship the stars. We don't worship anything like that. No, we only worship the Most High. And when we look at the stars, the sun, and the moon, we appreciate what the Most High has given unto us for a sign. Again, for a sign. And if you will, please understand that those who could understand the signs were said to be wise ones in the Tanakh. You had the cunning and wise women, right? You also had individuals that are noted. If you understand that even Abram's people, Abraham himself from Ur of the Chaldees, they were stargazers, and while they may have worshipped the sun, moon, and the seven luminaries, We understand that the Most High called Abraham, even though he had that background of being able to look at the stars, being able to understand certain things in the firmament. The Most High called Abram and said, you know what, you are the one that I want, you're the one that I need you to leave your father's house, and I want you to go to a place where I'm going to dictate. And so Abraham went, and the rest is history. But please keep in mind, one of the things that Abram had under his belt, that, by the way, the Most High ended up later using, okay, even when he had to deal with Abram and his greatest insecurity. Let's talk about that for a second. Because if we go and we look at how the Most High dealt with Abram, he dealt with Abram in a way. In fact, let's take a look at this. This comes to us from Bereshit, chapter 15, and we're going to pick it up from verse number 3. Notice, Abram speaks his insecurity to the Most High, and I'm just going to say this real quick. You know you've got an issue when you're standing before the Most High, and all you can do is vent about your own insecurity. I'm just saying. When you take a look here, Abram is so affected by this, until while he's having this divine moment, rather than being awestruck at the glory of the Most High or having this moment with the Most High, rather than just being carried away with that, rather than being carried away with this opportunity to soak up the presence of the Most High and hear from him, like, what does he have to say? Abraham brings to the Most High his insecurity, and he says, you know what? You haven't given me a son. You haven't given me anybody. And this slave that's in my house, I mean, I'm going to have to give everything to him. And he's like, I'm upset about it. I'm really upset about it. This really bothers me. Now, what I like about it is that this is a real relationship that Abram has with the Most High, and he can vent and talk about his frustrations. I would have it no other way. But at the same time, it's like, dang, man. I mean, like, the Most High is appearing in front of you, and all you're going to do is talk about, you didn't give me no son. You didn't give me. I mean, dude, hear him out. Listen to what he has to say, right? And it just so happens that the Most High was talking to Abram, right, about his lineage and about those that would be born. And notice what it reads here. Abraham said, man, you ain't give me no son, no nothing, And lo, one born in my house, man, I'm going to have to leave everything to him. Okay, Eliezer didn't have a problem with that. Like, shoot, it ain't my fault you don't have kids. Or leave everything to me. I'm good with it. But notice verse number 4. And behold, the word of Yah came unto him, saying, this shall not be your heir. He's not going to be your heir, but he that shall come forth out of your own loins, from your own DNA, he's going to be the ones that's going to be your heir. Now, please keep in mind that Abram is used to dealing with his inability to have children. He's used to dealing with the fact that, he's been disappointed so many times in his life about this, until he's almost just like giving up. Like, look, I don't have a son. I don't have anything. It's like it's not going to happen. And so the Most High has to really, really touch Abram in a place where it'll really get through to him. So what happens? Verse number 5. And he, meaning the Most High, brought him, Abram, forth abroad and said, look, I want you to look up. They're the heavens. Now, tell me, look, see all them stars? Tell me, count, reckon the stars, if you're able to number them or not. And he said unto him, nope, I can't do it. He said, look, that's how many your seed are going to be. They're going to be innumerable. And since the Most High brought Abram out to look at the stars and to convince him, notice what verse 6 says, and he believed in Yah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Now, this, of course, was something great, but the Most High used the signs of heaven. He used the stars of heaven in order to convince Abraham that, yes, you are going to have a son. And this was a deep-rooted insecurity, and it was great, right? But at the end of the day, because, and I gotta say this, we gotta go here for a second. It says, and he believed in Yah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Now, many people, including the early church fathers, looked at this and said, see, there's righteousness by faith. See, there's righteousness by faith. But this is not that kind of righteousness. First of all, with the term believed here, it is the hifil, which means that it's causative. In other words, the Most High, by means of showing him what he showed him, he caused Abraham to believe. Okay? Now, I need to state this because there's some of you that will look at that verse and say, see, there is righteousness by faith. Right? No, there is not righteousness by faith in that sense. When it says that he believed, the Most High caused him to believe. Now, it does not mean that Abraham caused himself to believe, because then the Hebrew verb would have been reflexive rather than causative. The verb is causative. Okay? It says in the Hebrew, wehamin. In other words, and he was caused to believe. Okay? Not he just decided, I got great faith. Let me go ahead and believe the Most High. No, that's not what happened. In the causative, another force or individual affects someone else in order to bring about a desired result. And that's what we have. The Most High did work on Abram, helping him to see that he would accomplish exactly what he said. And so he caused him to believe. But notice what he used to do it. He used the stars of heaven. He used the luminaries that Abram was already acquainted with, being of the lineage and being of the former spiritual traditions of looking at the stars and being of the wise individuals who could look at the stars and understand. Now, you look at in the Christian New Testament where they have the three magi, they're said to be the wise men. Why? Because they did follow the stars and they knew how to look at the heavens and understand what the will of the Most High was from the signs. They had the ability to read the signs, okay? Which is why when we take a look at the book of Proverbs, when you look at the Proverbs, when you look at even chapter 1, I want you to see something here. Even in chapter 1, notice what we read, okay? It says here in chapter 1 of Proverbs, the Proverbs of Shlomo ben David, Melech Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple. In other words, if you don't know your left from the right, and you're simple, and you're clueless, this will give you the wisdom and the ability to discern. To the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. And notice what we see next, okay? To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of Yah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And so he's saying, look, you have to be able to hear. And he's talking about the dark sayings, things that are hidden that need to be understood. And these are the words of the wise. The wise men were called, in fact, if you take a look, you'll find out that even those of the tribe of Issachar knew the times and the seasons and when things were to be done. And there is a connection between Bereshit chapter 1 verses 14 and the sons of Issachar that knew the times and the seasons. The times and the seasons are locked together with the luminaries of the heavens, and so the Most High gave them wisdom. Now again, we don't worship stars and the sun and the moon. Of course we don't, right? But they are tools that the Most High has given us to understand what time it is, the seasons, and what signs we should be looking for. And see, that's where I want to stick, because out of all of those descriptions, notice the first thing that the Most High said. Now, yeah, we understand what a year is. We understand what a day is. We understand what a season is. But notice the first thing that the Most High said that the luminaries were for, he said that they're for signs. Now, understanding that the Most High is speaking to us in wisdom and that he knows exactly what he's putting first, he says, let them be for first before anything else. Rather than a season, a day, or a year, the first thing I want you to understand is that they are for signs. Okay? They are for signs. And then he says, you know what? And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse number 16. Let me move this up so I don't hit myself in the head. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And Elohim set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and over the night, to divide the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. So this system of the Most High establishing the firmaments and the lights of heaven, he said, you know what? That is good. Them being for signs, that's good. Them being for seasons, days, and years, definitely good. But you understand that when the Most High, bara, creation, in other words, when he is creating or giving purpose to creation, he's taking what's there and he is refashioning them and repurposing them. And you notice the lights in the firmament, yeah, they are there first and foremost for signs. They're there for signs. Well, I could continue talking about this, but let's just take a look here and let's just really hone in on just a couple of things, just a couple of more things as we begin to, to deal with this particular subject. One of the things I want to say is that, I understand, like, for some people, this is very controversial. Some people do not even want to discuss this. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to deal with this because it's, they're afraid that, you're going to go off the deep end or something like that. And, we don't talk about that. We don't deal with that. Listen, the Most High has given us tools and he's expecting us to use them wisely. So when he gives us the stars of heaven, the sun and the moon, they are first and foremost for signs. Now, do we worship them? No, we do not. Do we allow the sun and the moon to represent God for us? No, they don't. No, they are simply lights in the heavens. And the Most High has given us a sign. Just like when you're driving in your car, the stoplight and the yield light and the green light, those are signs. Now, you're not going to bow down to them, but you're glad that they're there because they stop you from having accidents. And sometimes in life, you need to be able to discern the signs so that you don't have an accident in life. Well, be that as it may, let's go ahead and let's continue, because as we take a look at the new moon, there are things that we need to see and discuss when it comes to the new moon. Give me just a few minutes and we will be done. Notice what it reads here in Numbers 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginnings of your months. Okay? Which is talking about the new moon. You shall blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before Elohim. I am Yah, your Elohim. Let's go to Numbers 28, 11 through 15. And in the beginning of your months, okay, ye shall offer a burnt offering unto Yah, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot. And we know that we don't have a temple, so this is, we can't do that. Psalms 81, 3 through 4. Blow up the trumpet. I love this. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. The new moon. Listen, I know, brothers and sisters, a lot of times, it's difficult to even be able to celebrate Shabbat properly. And then you add the new moon celebration to it. It is a day that we are supposed to honor the Most High and we're to honor him and thank him for the beginning of another month. Okay, but we're going to see that when it comes to the new moon, let's do this. Let me go here real quick, because someone mentioned to me, they said, well, you're not supposed to go anywhere. You're not supposed to go anywhere on Shabbat, and that's not true. That is not true. They read where Moshe said, do not come out of your houses. Well, they were coming out of their houses in order to glean in the fields. So Moshe was basically saying, don't do that, right? But if we take a look here and we look at the scriptures, we see that, yeah, you can leave your home, okay, on the day of the new moon and on Shabbat. How do you figure that out? Well, okay, let's pay attention to it. Here it is, 2 Kings, okay? And this is dealing with the Shunammite woman. She finds her son not breathing, and she's trying her best to get to the man of God, trying to get to Elijah. And notice what it reads in 2 Kings 4:21. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of Elohim, and shut the door upon him, and went out. And she called unto her husband and said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men. Okay. And one of the donkeys or asses, that I may run to the man of Elohim and come again. Okay. Now, right here, if it was Shabbat, we are able to save life on Shabbat, right? But this is not Shabbat. Now, notice what her husband asks her. Her husband asked her, 2 Kings 4:23, and he said, where will you go to him today? It is neither the new moon when you go to him, or Shabbat when you go to him. And she said, man, please, it's all good. Fall up off me, okay? Just please, just do this. I ain't got time to talk to you. Our boy is up there. You just do what I'm telling you to do. Seemed like she wore the pants in the family, y'all. Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, drive and go forward. Slack not thy riding for me, except I bid thee. In other words, put the pedal to the metal. Okay? So we see here from the Tanakh that yes, on the new moon and on Shabbat, they went out. They traveled out of their homes to go to the man of God. But the new moon was a time of spiritual reflection, of celebration, and that is today that we celebrate. Okay? Let me continue here. Let me give you another one. And I want you to note this, because this is also very important. This comes to us from 1 Samuel 20:3. I want you to see it. 1 Samuel. Do I want to start at 3? Let me do this. I'm going to start at 3. And Dawid swear moreover and said, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he said, let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. And truly as Yah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. So this is a time when David's life was really hanging in the balance. He was about to be shish kebabbed by Saul. And so the Most High had to deal with David with wisdom. So notice what happens here. Then said Jonathan unto Dawid, look, however you want to play this, look, we'll do it, okay? And David said in verse 5 unto Jonathan, look, tomorrow is the new moon. Now stop right there. How did David know that tomorrow would be the new moon? How would David know that? Okay, he said, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. In other words, I'm supposed to be seated at the king's table, but let me go that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even. If your father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked me, and we can go on, but here's the deal. They knew when the new moon was going to be because they were watching, okay, and they were observing, and they had calculated out the days as to when the new moon would be, and there was already preparation for the new moon. I simply want to point out that we must be anticipating when the new moon is going to arrive and prepare to celebrate and to have a feast. Here in my household, yeah, we're kind of celebrating in our own way, right? It's not a big to do, but we are celebrating. Made a celebratory meal for the new moon, and so I am delighted to be able to celebrate the new moon on today. With that being the case, there are more scriptures that I could get into. However, it is important for us to observe the new moon. And for those of you that need help observing the new moon, again, we do have an app on our website that will help you to be able to prepare for the new moon and to see when the new moon is, right? We want you to know that on our website, I hope and pray, y'all willing, that by tomorrow, sometime during the day, that this will be fully integrated into the site, where you're able to see, okay, you're able to see this app that we now have for Remnant Nation Live. And it is our own app. And again, it's about the calendar. And for us right now, this is about today's celebration, the new moon celebration. And you know what? Hey, it's just one of those things that we love to observe. We love following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And so here we go. There are Shabbats in there, there are scriptures in there, and this will help us to, to synchronize our lives. Now listen, I understand that while we're here in exile, there are times when I know, you are not able to, okay? You're just not able to. You may have to work on this day. You may have to even work on Shabbat. Something that's out of your control. I understand. And one of the things I want to say, that while we can, for those of us that can, we do honor not just Shabbat, but we also honor the new moon. With that being the case, listen, I'm just going to go ahead, and I want to mention, just by way of those of you who are with us right now, those of you who are in the chat room, and I'm going to stop by the chat room in just a second. In fact, you know what? Let me just break right now. And I'll be right back. Okay, and I'll make a few comments, and then we'll close out. How about that? Be right back. Baruchim Abayim Mishpachah. I want to ask you a question. Would you pick up a French dictionary in order to help you define Spanish? Would you pick up a book on physics to help you understand the simplicities of cooking a recipe? No, you would not. You need the right reference material for the particular job at hand. And the Most High has given us a job of living the life according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that He has given. Why do I bring up this dichotomy? Why do I bring up this question? Because that is what many of us are doing. We are using reference works that are Christian in origin, nature, and bias. And we're having to gain a purely Hebraic understanding from them. And this, my dear brothers and sisters, is insane. I'm looking, need your help. I'm looking to foster Hebraic scholarship. So we've started the Hebrew Scholar magazine, and with this, there's something for the entire family, but there's also a platform to be able to develop new, young, and budding scholars. We want scholars that are going to basically produce materials from our perspective with our truth that's for us, that's by us, and that's going to benefit us and help us throughout all generations. I'm Melky Uriel. I want you to subscribe to the magazine. I need you to subscribe to the magazine. We want to reach our first goal of 500 subscribers. And then, of course, we want to go to 1,000 and move on from there. But bottom line of it is, we need this for the nation, for the community. We need this for Israel. We need our own scholars. And it's time that we began to invest in our own scholarship. So help us out. Go to thehebrewscholar.com. We'll see you there. Shalom. All right. Let me check in the chat room and see where you all are, what you all are saying. Okay. Let's take a look here. Are there any comments? Any questions? Bless you, my sister. Bless you, my sister. Leonie Croning. Bless you. Thank you for that. Peace and blessings, Hannah. Peace and blessings to you. Glad that you are here. Happy new moon to you. Peace and blessings. Brother Adrian, peace and blessings to you. Thank you, my brother Adrian. He says Shabbat is a holy convocation. You can't gather if you don't leave the house. Come on, somebody. Very true. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. And thank you, Leonie Croning. She says, this is awesome. Well, hey, thank you very much. All praises to the Most High. Okay, so let's do this. Let's formally open it up for questions. Let me get my ask sign so that everyone knows that we can ask some questions. Give me just a second here to find the ask your question. Ooh, let me make sure the phone line is available too. I don't think I did that, y'all. I'll make sure that the phone line is available. Okay. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right, I think that we are definitely good to go. I think we're good to go. And with that being the case, I'm going to tiptoe back into the chat room and let's just kind of see here. Let's see here. Let me take a look here. Okay. All right. So, where am I at here? Hold on. Looking at the chat. Thank you for posting the number. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Josh and Penny want to know, is it okay to say Shana Tov, which is basically good year? Here's okay. So here's the thing with that. Of course, there's no bad time to wish someone to have a good year. The only thing is when it's associated with the new year. The new year starts in the month of Aviv, which is basically the springtime. That is our new year. And we understand that the Ashkenazim have a different new year. They have a new year that's later in the year, of course, right? Which is where we're at. And so many individuals want to, say, well, the new year really starts later in the year, when really, according to Exodus, no, it starts in the spring, when life is waking up, when everything is waking up, and there's a new cycle of life. It's just long, that's when we celebrate. Okay. That's when we celebrate the new year. But it's you can wish someone a good year, like hey, have a great day. I mean, you can say that anytime as well, as you know. I'm going to go ahead and answer this question, even though it was not pointed to me. LP asked the question, why did Moshe say, don't leave your place? Just a question. Well, maybe, I don't know if you missed it before, but before I stated that when Moshe told Israel not to go out of your homes, he wasn't saying don't go out of your homes at all. Okay? He was saying, look, you guys are leaving your home on Shabbat to glean. You're going out to the fields, okay? And you're picking crops on Shabbat. You're not supposed to do that. So he says, basically, look, stay home. Don't go out of your homes to glean. Because that was the context. If you look at that passage of scripture in Numbers, that was the context. They were leaving their places to go and gather on Shabbat. Now, as I read, we are allowed to leave our homes and travel during Shabbat and also during the new moon. I read that in 2 Kings chapter 4. I don't know if you were here, okay? But yeah, so it's all good. And by the way, you're good, Josh and Penny. You guys are good. I did see it earlier, but like I said, it's okay. So I didn't say anything or mention anything by way of correcting or changing anything. LP, I hope that suffices. Otherwise, I can go to that scripture again and show you. I already went there earlier, but hey, I'd be happy to go there again if you need me to. Let's take a look here and let's okay, I think I have answered all the questions and I've addressed all the comments. What I'm ready to do is I am ready, if there aren't any more questions, hey, I'm ready to hop off here and continue this celebratory mood. I'm happy. I'm happy to be celebrating the new moon, and I'm telling you, it feels so good to be in sync in time with what the Most High is doing. And I encourage you again, we have an app, and this app is designed to help you stay in sync as well. So do look for the app. Let me do this. Let me put I don't know if Bergen Paris put the website in or not, but I will go ahead and put it down there. Boom. This is our website, and so yeah, I do have to tweak a couple of things on it, but this is our website, and the calendar app is a part of, it is a part of this site. So all right, hey, as you know, we are working on things left and right, making things better, trying to do our best to give you everything that you need to live a righteous life before the Most High. And I want to thank you all. Peace and blessings to you. If there are no more questions, the phone didn't ring. That's okay. If there are no more questions, then we're going to go ahead and hey, we're going to let you celebrate the rest of this new moon celebration. Peace and blessings to you. I love you all. Thank you again for your time and your attention. May the Most High smile on you. May He bless you. May He keep you. Your Moreh Malki Uriel. Love you all. Yah willing, we'll see you for Shabbat morning coffee. Peace and blessings. By the way, Email me with the email address that's in the chat room if you have a question or a comment or a concern. Also, those of you watching, listen, I know some of you may think that you have subscribed already. Please subscribe. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, okay? Let's make sure that you have subscribed. Peace and blessings to you. Hit the like button. We'll see you. Shalom.